Hello and welcome to Profiles in Risk. This is your host, Tony Cañas, switching to my radio voice. And today I have with me Joe Ems, Director of Sales at Sembley. Joe, how's it going today?
It is going well, going well. Good Monday so far. How about you?
All good, all good.
Yeah.
And we are recording on January 20th, in the middle of a cold streak, like a national cold streak. So I am very curious. Is Philly basically a giant icicle right now?
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. It is freezing outside. I was actually at the Eagles game last night, go Birds, and stood out in the snow for a few hours, freezing my tail off.
That is, yeah, good for you. I mean, much respect. I did one game at Lambau in what's it called
Green
in
Bay.
Green Bay, yeah,
Yeah.
several years ago. That was 5 degrees. Uh, and yeah, I I probably would not go to an outdoor game again at less than like 40.
Yeah.
So yeah, like good for you. Uh, so we always give the guest a chance to give the elevator pitch. What is assembly?
Yeah. So, assembly, really, in the end of the day, what it boils down to is we help agents with their Accord forms, and we do that in a couple of ways. So, we've built a system that has a client-facing intake where you can share questions with your clients. When they answer them, they're going to populate directly onto your Accord forms. They are intakes that are fully customizable. You can build completely custom intakes or work with ones that have questions based off the Accord forms and the supplements that you add in. Beyond that, we've built tools into the system that will actually help you fill these out, where we're pulling property data, company information, so that you don't have to go and look that up and spend time going to find that. And then from there, all of this information is going to populate right onto your forms, so they'll be ready to go, ready to be sent out to the carrier.
Okay, so accords are an interesting beast. I'm a former underwriter. I'm a former middle market underwriter, and uh, back when I was a middle market underwriter with Liberty, my longtime girlfriend was a very large broker, and there were days when we both from worked from home, uh, I wasn't her underwriter, right? She had a different Liberty underwriter, but it seemed just ridiculous to me that on one side of the wall, I'm receiving Accord forms from brokers in PDF format, and on the other side of the wall, she's sending uh, Accords to a different Liberty underwriter in PDF format, and on both sides, well, on the carrier side, when that Accord comes in, basically a processing team, whether they're here or abroad, retypes everything into our system. And on her side, that information is kept digitally. So why don't we transfer it digitally? And then I wasn't touching the client piece, right? Where like how her side acquires that information and how it ends up in an accord. But overall, it's it's an incredibly inefficient process, right?
Yeah.
uh, a lot of either the producer sitting down with the client to get the information or an account manager on the phone, uh, and retyping things into an accord form. So and incredibly, I think the entire industry agrees that the accord is an incredibly uh, old fashioned way to transfer things.
Yeah.
Uh, so totally like immediately get why a better way to get information in the accord makes sense. Um, so if you're not from insurance, this would seem like a pretty simple thing to fix, right? But there's depending on the type of risk, right? The pieces of the Accord, or the sections of the Accord that you need to fill out are different.
Yeah.
So walk me through what it looks like for an agent using Sembley. Uh, I get a new risk that is giving me the opportunity to quote them. What do I have to do to set up the link that goes to them, and what does it look like to them once they get it? How customized is it to the specific type of risk?
Yeah, so it's really interesting. We've built these intakes that a big goal of us and what we're trying to do here is making things user friendly, especially when we're talking about Accord forms that are probably the least user friendly form that I've ever had the experience of working with. We want to make this easy to work with, not only for the agents, but also for the clients as well. So let's say ABC company comes to you and they say, hey, we want to get a quote on this, this, and this. You would get your Accord forms together. Let's say you're going to create a commission for submission for ABC company, and you're going to put in your 125, a 126, and a 140. We're going to take all of the questions from all three of those forms, build them into a singular intake, and once you have that there, you'll be able to share that with them through a few different ways, email, text. We have a client portal as well for clients that prefer a password protected login, and you can send that over to them, and they're going to get a nice custom intake where they'll be able to go in there and start answering those questions. And as they do that, those questions, you'll see them populate directly onto your Accord forms in real time. Now, you can really get even more custom with it with our custom intakes. So we have custom intakes as well, because I know a lot of agents out there, they like to use agency questionnaires or intake forms to gather info. Maybe they want to ask other questions that aren't going to be on the Accord form, but will be useful for them to either provide to the underwriter or use for whatever business purposes they need. You can build a custom intake that has questions that aren't on the Accord form and loop them in with other pieces of information to gather for the Accord forms. And the information will actually flow through that custom intake right into your Accord forms. So when you go to open those up, you'll see all those answers are going to be there for you.
Okay, and then so once the client has filled it out, uh, you said that it pulls data from other sources.
Yeah.
Okay, so is it only property data, or what else can it pull in directly into the Accord?
Yeah, so there's a few different ways that we're pulling data in right now. One of the ones that was early for us was our property data. So you can pull in information on your property, some of the basic stuff like square footage, the amount of rooms, roof types, the things that you're going to need for any property information. I'm sorry, on an Accord. Um, Beyond that, we can pull in some basic company information as well, links to the company's social pages, Facebook, Instagram, things like that. And now there's another source that we're adding in, and that's going to be our integrations that we're building. So we're integrating right now with Hawksoft and Momentum, that was formerly NowCerts. So we have our Hawksoft in beta test right now. Probably by the time this comes out, it might actually be live. And then we have our Momentum integration coming up right around the corner, and that should be out by the end of this month, maybe early February. And we're now going to be able to pull information from your AMS into Sembley as well, which simplifies the process a lot, because for any renewals, it's going to make it a lot easier to pull all that info right from your AMS already.
So Hawks of it is a fantastic start. Is Epic and Vertifor, are those on the way?
I'd hope that they would be soon enough. We've had some initial conversations with Vertfor and some of those bigger agency management systems. I think they will be things that are going to be coming in the future, but I cannot give a timeline quite yet.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so for those not on Hawksoft, uh, fully functional for new business. It's
Mhm.
just for renewals, not yet.
Yeah, for the renewal purposes, it makes it a little bit easier to pull that information in directly from your agency management system, especially when you have like a lengthy SOV or something like that. It's easier to pull that in. But another way that you can get information into Sembley that isn't already there, and let's say you did want to do a renewal, but you don't have one of the agency management systems that we're integrated with, you can actually use one of our tools that is called import from Acord. Pretty self-explanatory. So you could take, let's say, last year's 125, upload it into Sembley, and what it's going to do is it will pull all of the information that you already have filled out on that previous year's Accord right into Sembley. You'll see that populate right onto our intake. You'll have access to it to edit in Sembley or enrich the data and work through Sembley for that renewal.
Okay. I always like to ask about the pricing and special props to companies that do have the pricing on the website, and you guys do have it. So that's awesome. So super easy to check, assembly.com/pricing. I won't read it out because those things change, but I'm glad that it is on the website. Um, how long does it take from so we sign up to use Assembly? How long before we're functional?
I actually had someone who signed up earlier today, and we had them functional within about 10 minutes.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Um, is is it something that I can purchase for myself as one of the producers, or does it have to be at the agency level?
So we have people doing both. We have some people who are just looking for a useful tool as a producer, and they're willing to invest a little bit of money in doing that and making their life easier. And then we have a ton of agents out there who are getting this for their entire agency or entire brokerage.
Perfect. What are the clients saying? What kind of feedback are you getting from the clients?
So far, so good. I mean, everyone seems pretty thrilled with the system, which we're so happy to hear. I mean, our goal is really to make life easier for the agents out there. And right now, the overall sentiment is that we are. And we're going to continue to push ways. I mean, there's definitely things out there that we know would be a lot easier if it was built into the system for the agents, and we're pushing to get some of those things out. For example, one of the things on the roadmap that should be coming in the very near future is going to be adding e-signature in Assembly. We don't have it available quite yet, but we're going to be adding an e-signature and pairing that along with being able to send your records right from Assembly to your carriers too. So you'll be able to go from step one of gathering that information from your client all the way to that final step of getting the signature, sending it to the carrier, all within Assembly.
Okay, so is there a carrier version basically that's coming down, or is it kind of a generic, hey, your Accord is ready, we can submit it however the carrier wants it?
Yeah, so right now, the way that we're looking at that is that you would just, there would be kind of a uh, send a carrier button. You'd hit that button, you'd choose the carrier you want to send it to. You would kind of pre-fill your carrier contacts in there and then email it over to the carrier from there. But I do kind of like the idea of a carrier portal to have your Accord forms in there if that was the direction you were going. So I might steal that idea from you.
Yeah, mostly curious. Being a former carrier person,
Yeah.
mostly curious. Always curious about the origin story. Uh,
Yeah.
how did Assembly come to be?
Yeah, of course. So it's funny because we came from the two different perspectives of the people that are looking at Sembley. So I have an insurance background myself. Our founder, Jeremy, he was a business owner who was tired of having to deal with lengthy renewal processes, answering question after question, and then the supplement's going to come in and they're going to have more questions for you. So he thought for a business owner, there must be an easier way to do this. And then I come from the insurance background of going through the pain of having to fill out these accords and going from form to form to form. and it just being such a headache. So we came together to build Sembley and offer a solution that makes life easier on the agents, but also on the business owners who are actually answering these questions.
Got it, got it. And how long ago did you guys start?
We are coming up on a year pretty soon.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah,
Congrats. I,
thank
I,
you.
I've got to say, your LinkedIn is a bit uh humble, a bit overly humble, because you're not you're listed as director of sales, not as co-founder. Which
I'm a founding member. I try not to
so
take too much
I,
credit because I let Jeremy take the credit because he's really the brain behind this. I
so I
mean,
yeah, I just noticed that the founding member piece, but out of hundreds of interviews, almost everybody who was one of the original founders is listed as co-founder and X, usually co-founder and C something, right?
yeah.
I very much assumed that you were a hired gun. All right, all right. Uh, great. So long term. So a year in, I'm assuming at this point you've got a few agencies deployed, and you're getting good feedback. Um, but long term, what's the vision? Where would you like to see Assembly 5 years from now?
Yeah, it's always a tough question to answer because the way that tech is going, things are always changing. There are always new tools coming out. I mean, think about 5 years ago, how AI wasn't tied into absolutely everything we're doing. And these days, you don't send an email without looking at AI beforehand, or I'm sure some people do, but but AI is everywhere, and it's such a rapidly changing marketplace. So, I mean, some of the things that we are doing soon that I think are going to be molding the direction in which we go is we want to improve the way that data is stored and presented for our agents. So we're going to be building out different profiles and different tables within Sembley, and it's going to kind of start to look like a CRM. Now, we're not calling ourselves a CRM, but the best way to present that data and be able to provide agents insight from that data is to structure it in a way that is CRM-like. So I think you're going to start to see Sembley provide some more options in terms of what you can do within the system, like some CRM-like features. And we have a joke within the team where we say, we're just going to keep adding features and keep building this thing out. One of these days, we're going to look at each other and say, oops, we accidentally built an AMS. Not that that's the goal right now, but I mean, we just want to make Assembly as useful as possible to the agents out there that are going to need it. And there are a lot of tools that can benefit agents out there. So we're just going to keep growing and trying to make life easier on the agents who are using our system.
Okay. Um, are there any specific types of agencies other than commercially focused?
Yeah.
Are there any specific types of agencies that make a particularly good fit to partner with Sembley? Oh, and the opposite side of that question, are there agencies for whom they might not be a fit for you?
Yeah. I mean, right now I'd say the agencies, I'll start with the ones that maybe it's not a fit. Um, right at this moment, we don't do much on the L&H side of the business. It's, much more skewed towards P and C. Now being said, I do have a few agents out there that are using our system for Medicare and life and health, and they're building custom intakes in there to build life quotes and things like that. It's just you got to put in a little bit more work and customize the system a little bit more exactly to what you need it for on that end. But the agents that we're working really well with are anyone who is tired of doing Accord forms. We have some agents like if you're writing in ENS, there's going to be a lot of Accord forms you're dealing with. So the agents I do writing a lot of ENS are really benefiting from us. And then it just really depends on the carriers you work with. I know there are some carriers out there that they're only using the portal, but maybe some of the best carriers that you work with, you're having to submit Accord forms on a regular basis. We could definitely save you some time there and make life a little bit easier on you for agents like that.
Fantastic, exciting to have you on early in the company's journey. Thank you for telling us the story and sharing with us what you guys are doing. I think pretty much everybody hates Accords, so you're definitely working on something that the industry does need,
Yeah,
which is one of the markers of InsurTech 2.0 or 3.0 or whatever version we're on, is lots of tools created by us,
yeah,
right? By former agents or the people from the industry, rather than, hey, we've got this cool technology that we want to fit somewhere in insurance, and we have no idea where to fit it.
yeah.
Which we saw a lot in InsurTech 1.0, what I like to call a tech hammer looking for an insurance nail. So I think that long term, the ones that will be successful, most will be somebody in insurance identified a problem and partner with the right tech people to solve it. So yeah, very exciting. Uh, thank you for your time today, and look forward to see you guys continue to grow. Maybe come back in a year or two to tell us how things have matured.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd love to be back, and I really appreciate you having us on here. It's very exciting everything that has been going on, and being able to get to know more people in this space like you and so many others that I've met. So I'm happy that I got the opportunity to come and talk a little bit with you today.
Thank you.